So when you're looking at the ethical dilemmas in businesses, I think there's a real danger in relying too much on automation in the future. If you look at what the internet does, it polarizes what people see, and that's through automated algorithms. We tend to get reflected back as what we look like ourselves.
A chatbot that was put live on the web, and it was interacted with through the day. Anyone could access it. By the end of the day, it was taken offline because it had become racist in its responses. It had become quite unpleasant. Part of that was because who are the people during the day who are likely to interact with that is probably not a standard demographic of society.
I think that's probably the risk, is that automation starts to generate a more polarised view of the world and doesn't take into account some of the nuances in terms of human behaviour that actually make us human, and actually what people ultimately engage with is the differences as much as the things that are the same.
There's a number of ethical challenges that are quite interesting, and that needs to be well thought through before you actually rely on AI in a too meaningful way.
So trust has been a very important aspect in any kind of a human interaction, and I think in the digital world that we live in, it's becoming even more important because you are now relying on businesses that take your data to guard it, to use it wisely, and to use it securely.
Those organisations which can track where you've been, what you've done, have a responsibility to make sure all that data is held in a way that can't be used for ill-gotten purposes. But part of that actually is educating people, educating the workforce.
So who's ultimately responsible for data, and how does that get used, and ethically who's responsible for it? Is it a company or an individual?
I think the ethical aspect is a very hard question. I don't think anybody's managed to solve it yet.
I don't think ethics are the role of government, or they're the role of industry, or they're the role of the citizen. I think they're the role of all of us.
It's going to throw up some very interesting dilemmas, I think, in the next few years.